Today is already better than a couple nights ago. We're feeling good today. You're listening to the Urban Sports Scenes Washington Capitals live post-game show in Game 2 in the second round of the Stanley Cup Playoffs. The Caps bounced back with a 3-1 victory over the Carolina Hurricanes, and the series is now tied 1-1 apiece. I am here with former WNST's Caps reporter Ed Frankovic. What's going on, Ed? How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, it's a much better night tonight, Wale. It's great to talk to you. And I'm just happy we have good news tonight because it was tough after game one.
George, boom. You're right, George. Boom. What a great game. But before we talk about the game, we got to still knock out some logistics, some house cleaning work. Hey, make sure you subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and other podcast platforms. Just search the Urban Sports Scene. Also, check out our website, which is www.urbansportscene.com. If you are on here watching this on YouTube and you have not subscribed to the Urban Sports Scene YouTube channel, please hit that red subscribe button. And also for this video, like the video. Don't forget to tweet us at Urban Sports Scene. Hit us up on IG and TikTok at Urban Sports Scene, and like our Urban Sports Scene Facebook page. Also join our Urban Sports Scene Facebook group. Just search Urban Sports Scene, sports bloggers, sports podcasters, and sports debates. All right, I mentioned this. The Caps bounced back with a 3-1 victory over the Carolina Hurricanes. There's a guy who played extremely well, but I won't give that away right now. Ed, I want your overall thoughts on game 2.
Yeah, I think you and I are going to have the same number one star of this game tonight.
Yes.
And I know how much you love goalies, and he was great, but it's not a goalie tonight.
It's not a goalie. It's not a goalie.
There's a certain player that he is the heart and soul of the Capitals team, and he was the number one star tonight. We'll get to him in a bit. Yeah. But I really liked the way – I didn't like the start. I felt like, they haven't adjusted. They're kind of sitting back. They look a little slow. But then as the game went on, especially in that second period, I felt like the Capitals took control. They figured out how to get the puck out. They made some adjustments in the breakout. They made a big lineup change. They took Ryan Leonard out, which I think was a good move. It's hard to go from BC to the Stanley Cup playoffs. I felt like that was a really good move. I loved the way the Dow line played tonight. But the biggest thing was the Caps were not turning pucks over. They changed their breakout. They were getting Carolina. They were making them turn and go back to get pucks, and that was a big difference. They were on them, and the Capitals were out shooting them for most of the game until the power play, and then Carolina started pushing. So a lot to like, a lot of better things, a lot of more compete level. Definitely compete level. They skated better. They passed better. So they earned this win tonight, and it's going to be tough going down to Carolina for 2, but for now, they're back in the series.
I agree. George also put out there, at least the Caps had one really good period against the Canes. Still a little too relying on Logan Thompson, but a lot better tonight. I thought. Logan was great. I feel like. In this series, you got two good goaltenders are playing at high level. But Logan was great. I think he was a better goal. He definitely was a better goaltender in this game. To me, the amount of shots he has to see and the saves he's making, he's been fantastic. But for me, I just thought that we talked about an issue that we had in game 1 was not playing with a sense of urgency, right? And I felt like this game may just be obviously being down 0-1, not wanting to go down 2-0, going to Carolina, knowing that Carolina is a very good home team. I felt you saw that desperateness, right? Going after all the loose pucks. Obviously Carolina has that knack to get most of the loose pucks, but I just felt like the Caps matched the energy, right? They didn't make it easy. You know what I mean? And then now it was to a point where game 1, I felt like they played game scared. Game 2, they didn't. You saw them take opportunities, go for the opportunities, and to have a few breakaway opportunities at goals, and they took advantage of it. They were, like you said, they were cleaner in their zone. There was maybe a couple bad passes, but all in all, I felt like they were still good and strong in their zone. They were stronger with the puck. The hitting was great. I thought they were physical. They matched Carolina's physicality. They just didn't back down. And I feel like they can play that way, that style. They'll be fine. They've done well in the penalty kill situations. Even struggling in game 1, they were good in the penalty kill. So I just feel like the Caps have a lot they can take away from this outing to game 3, because again, we said this in game 1. As bad as the Caps played, they lost the game 2-1 in OT, and the Canes. That's the style they play regardless. but the Caps played horrible in game 1 and still lost only by 1 goal in overtime. And this game, I felt like this is more of the Caps that we've seen throughout the season.
Yeah, they were a lot better. I mean, I know Carolina has a lot of shot attempts and
Yeah.
shots. But I think I heard the stat, like with 5 minutes to go, I was listening to a little John Walton during the game, and it was 10-9 the Caps in quality scoring chances in the last
quality.
5 minutes. So the Caps had some really great chances in front. Anderson made some saves. They didn't put pucks in the right spots, but the Capitals definitely were way better than they were in game 1. Like you said, physically, they were engaged. They were desperate. They were winning pucks.
Yes.
Carolina's still a little faster, but the Capitals, I mean, there's a big hit in the neutral zone that leads to Connor McMichael's goal, right? That was just a huge hit in the neutral zone. And McMichael gets a breakaway, and the Capitals seem to gain a lot of confidence from that play because they kind of dominated the rest of the second period. They could have had a bigger lead. And then getting the power play goal early in the third period was just huge, right? Just
that was
down to Carlson, beautiful play.
Yeah.
So you could see they had confidence, unfortunately, and then they were not sitting back, which I like. You know, if you sit back on Carolina, they're eventually going to score because they just throw so many pucks to the net, it's going to hit something and go in. But then the delay of game penalty kind of derailed. There was a momentum shift before that, like a really long shift, and then they get this delay of game penalty, and Gostisbehere scores, and then it was hang on for a while. Till about the 5-minute mark. And then I thought the Capitals did a really good job. I don't remember too many really good chances when it was 5-on-5 late. And then when they pulled the goalie, the Capitals did a really good job of keeping them to the outside and along the wall.
Yeah, I don't think, to me, like, I obviously that penalty happened at a bad time. When you had an opportunity to put the game away. But at the end of the day, it's again, things are going to happen, players are going to happen, but that didn't deter in terms, even when they scored that goal. I felt like the Caps still played a smart game. They were aggressive, but not too aggressive. They made sure that they were able to get back, take away passing lanes, a lot of blocks. I mean, and they, to me, again, they did everything a championship quality team needs to do to kind of try to advance and win a Stanley Cup in this game. You know what I mean? And down the stretch, they were great. I just, like, you talk about McMichaels, I thought he was amazing. I thought he was fantastic throughout the whole game, even with the goal, and even that his activity around the puck was amazing. To your point, also, like, the Caps had a lot of opportunities to put this game away though too at the same time. You mentioned Bouvier had like an open net basically right there. That it's right there for him. Open net, goalie's out of place. And I just felt like, and he maybe panicked. I don't know. He just hit it. It hit the rail. But if he just centers it just a little bit, that's a goal. Like that, it didn't even have to be a perfect shot. It would have been a goal.
Yeah, he shanked that one off the heel of his stick, and that would have been 2-0, like you said. But yeah, they had chances. They had chances to extend it, which they didn't have many chances on.
Exactly.
Tuesday night. Tuesday night, we had very few chances. They had a lot more tonight, which is encouraging. I like the way they were breaking it out. They did make some adjustments. And when they didn't have the center free coming out, they were just chipping it off and making Carolina's D turn and go back to get it. So that was effective. Carberry made some good adjustments.
Yeah.
My guy of the night tonight was Tom Wilson.
Please talk about him, Ed. Just talk about. Let's not mess up the lead. That's the guy. That is the guy.
Tom Wilson was the guy tonight. I mean, he blocked shots. He made some great passes. He just sacrificed everything for the team. He was physical. He brought the Capitals in for the team. He was physical. He brought the Capitals into the fight. He brought them into the series tonight. And he was the number one star in my book. And just being able at the end there to somehow stay on side, and he gets rewarded with the empty net.
Yes.
But the play he made to get it out. I mean, they were they had 6-on-5 down there, a couple faceoffs, and he just made a great play on the wall to get it out. Just an incredible game by Tom Wilson. The one, diving, blocking shots on a great chance. That's the one I remember.
That was the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one. I feel like that's right before the end of the second period. Am I correct?
Yes.
That was because that was a clean shot. And that was a clean shot. He was fantastic. Like, you talk about playing an all-around game. He deserved it, like the empty net. That's just that he needed a goal. Like, that's where I felt he deserved the goal. Like, because his all-around game, his defense, his checking, his sacrificing his body on block shots. He did his passing. He did everything this team needed to win this game. Like that is the mark of a leader. Like and it's great that it happened in his career season, scoring 30 plus goals, 30 goals. Like he has shown so much growth, and he was great in that championship run. But today, I feel like if you're looking at that star quality player, like or that moment that could change a series, like if you say, hey, you know what, follow me. I'm the guy that's going to lead us to the promised land. Follow me. If you want to watch tape on that, he's the guy. You watch him. You watch that tape of game 2. And if you can't live up to his play, then you can't be. Then you shouldn't play with him because that was all energy, all effort. Period.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Tom Wilson was the best player on the ice tonight, and he won the game for the Capitals in my book. He was so good, and he didn't take any bad penalties. Right?
No, not at all.
He was physical. He intimidated Carolina, but when the whistles were blown, he made sure he grabbed Aho there at the end, but there was no way they were going to call a penalty. If he grabs him somehow differently, maybe. But Wilson was very controlled, and he had Carolina, a little bit agitated, a little bit on an edge tonight. Definitely the player of the game. And I liked a lot of another big play in the game was I think Carolina had a 2 or 3 on 1 late, and Trevor Van Riemsdyk puts his stick in the lane.
That was it. That was
probably another one of the top 5 plays of the game right there.
Awesome.
Because it's tie game if he doesn't block that pass
easily. Because you can see it. The net was open again on that side. It was open. I totally agree with you. We got some comments from George. George says, "Does finally scoring against the Carolina power play give the Washington any sort of edge heading down to Raleigh?"
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like the way they rotated down and get that back door.
That was sweet.
That they've done that some during the regular season, and that's what they're going to have to do because Carolina is trying to block that point, not allow that shot. So I definitely think that helps for sure to get a power play goal. Carolina was 0 for 5 till that last one. They finally got one. It's going to happen, right? And when the puck goes over the glass, chances are it's probably going in the back of your neck because that's a bad penalty. But to your point, McMichael did have a good game. That was the only bad play he really made.
Yeah.
But he did score a huge goal to kind of give the Capitals some confidence early. And I thought he was using his speed where he really didn't the other night. The Capitals just looked faster tonight.
They did.
And as the game went on, they seemed to finally figure out what Carolina was doing. So it'll be interesting to see what Brendan Moore does on his end to adjust. And Carberry's going to try and build on what he has. I think the Capitals have some confidence. They're going into a Hornets nets down there, but to George's point, I know he's commented before, the Capitals have played well down there. And in 2019, they went 0-3 in the playoffs. Let's see if they can change that going down there.
I like hearing that. So what do you feel? What's the? I mean, for me, it's energy. It's energy and just playing with a certain amount of desire is the reason why they won this game. But to you, what changes did you see Carberry make in this game that was different from game 1?
Well, I like that he didn't have the wingers on the breakout way up right in front of their defensemen. He brought them down a few feet off the boards, which made Carolina's defensemen have to make some decisions. And if they come down, the Capitals were chipping it around them when they would gamble. And if they backed up, then the Capitals had more of a clean out. And I thought that was a good adjustment. I like the lineup change. I love Ryan Leonard. He's going to be a great player, but he's just not ready for the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs physically at this point. And it was good to get, I guess Radish was back in. I love the way Mangiapane played tonight. I thought he was really good. He was invisible in game 1, like a lot of other guys. So he made the lineup changes he needed to make. He made some tactical adjustments, and then it was just up to the desire, the desperation, wanting the puck. And I felt like from the middle of the first period on, the Capitals started doing that.
Any concern of Ovi not playing a lot down the stretch? Any concerns with that? His play of late.
To be honest, he did not play well in game 1.
Yeah,
and he's looking a little slow right now. So, I don't think you could put him out there. Right, it was too much of a risk. Other guys were playing better, and Ovi would probably be the first one to tell you that. He's just got to get right. He's got to get going offensively and on the power play. Right now, defensively, he's just he was too much of a liability. They had other guys playing better, and you got to win the puck battles. Carolina's a little quicker, so I'm not concerned. I mean, they had to sit him down the stretch there.
Is Ovi looking slower? I mean, because Carolina they do skate well. Is it
Yep.
more of just Ovi's speed out there? Is
It's
that
a matchup.
true?
It's a
Okay.
matchup thing. Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
He's not a good matchup defensively. I know you always love to have him on there to hit the
Of
empty net,
course. Of course.
but I think it was too risky with how quick they moved to the puck
Yeah.
tonight, and it paid off. Right. He put the
Yeah.
right guys out there, and they got it out, and they got the empty net, and so. Obi, hopefully he gets a little rest here and is ready to go Saturday night, right? They're going to need him on the power play. They're going to need him offensively. So,
Definitely.
um, he can still play a big role in this series. But it was tonight with that 1-goal lead, they had to put the guys who were going out there.
How do you think I mean, obviously, like you mentioned, Obi is always great on power play. Usually, how can they get him loose on the power play? Because I just feel like he's not even a factor on the power play.
Well, yeah, what they have to do is if Carolina's taking that pass away, then they have to
Yeah.
do what they did when they scored was he's got to
Carlson.
rotate down to the net, right, to the
Gotcha.
back door,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or he rotates in front of the net and use him down there because, he's bigger and stronger. If you get the puck there and he's down there, he can win some battles down there and score some ugly goals. That's what they're gonna have. If they're taking that shot away, they're gonna have to when they move it to the right side and then come back with it, they're gonna have to do a rotate down where Carlson will slide to his slot, Ovi will go to the front of the net, and then probably Chikrin will rotate up on that side, or Strom will rotate up on that side. That's what they're going to have to do. But yeah, they're going to have to get if they can't get the one timer to Ovi, then he's got to slide down and create havoc in front of the net.
So George also put out there. I know Bouvier missed that big chance, but he's been one of Washington's best in the series so far. He's been one of Washington's best in the postseason so far. I've really been impressed with Bouvier and just the way he's played and the way he skated.
He's a good skater, right? This is a speed. Carolina has speed, and he has to be out there because he can match their speed. He's one of the fastest guys on the team. So you're going to see the guys that can skate play most of the minutes, going forward in this series.
Yes, I mean we talked about like we've given our guy Tom Wilson his flowers, and he deserves it because Tom Wilson was amazing. We gotta go to the goalie now. We gotta go to the goalie. Ed. Like,
oh yeah, he was.
This is come on, like this back-to-back great games. Like I felt like to me, what happened in game one didn't really show. Like he lost the matchup, but I felt like he played his butt off.
He was the only guy who played for the Cavs.
Yeah,
on Tuesday.
and nothing changed in game two. If it wasn't for Tom Wilson's Herculean effort in game two,
blocking that shot,
he would automatically be my Thompson would automatically be my player of the game. That's just how good he played. He played that. That's how good. One, that's how great Tom Wilson played. But also on the flip side, Logan Thompson was still amazing. Yeah. You just talk about his play as well.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't looked at the official stars yet, but my top two were definitely Wilson and Logan. Thompson and net. Yeah, he's playing he just looks very calm and very collected back there, right? I don't get he's not shaky. I don't get the feeling that there was one play where like Carlson accidentally tipped the shot, and that was a hard save. It was late in the game, and he was like, "No problem, I got you." He tapped Carlson, "I got you." Logan's very confident right now, and he's moving well. He's not overcommitting, and his glove is as good as there is in the league right now. So, I mean, the Capitals have to take a lot of confidence from that. They know their goalie's going to help them out as long as they don't leave it wide open, right? The goals that have gone in against them have been tons of traffic or wide open chances.
No, I agree. I just feel like he's everywhere, and he's not giving up big rebounds. He's smothering everything. He's anticipating well. It's just everything he's doing right now. He's in the zone. Like, and if we're gonna use it in terms of basketball, when the shooter can't miss, he's in a zone. He's in such a groove. Like you said, he's not panicking. It's like he knows he's anticipating. He knows where the puck's gonna be at. Even when they're trying to block him, he has an idea where to be on glove side. And he has been like. If anything, like this series can go all the way left if it wasn't for him.
Yeah,
could have went all the way left. He's been that good.
They're getting elite goaltending right now.
Elite. So what you said is almost like 2020 the championship 2019. Yeah, am I getting it? 2019,
2018,
yeah, 2018. Thank you. It's like Hopi. Right? They're getting that type of goaltending right now. I would almost make the argument that he's kind of playing better, in my opinion. Like,
well, he's getting more rubber, right? That 2018 team dominated the play a lot. I mean, the Pittsburgh series was close, especially when Backstrom went out. But And then then they went up against that Tampa Bay team, but that Capitals team was so deep, 4 lines,
Yeah.
strong blue line. That was just a great team. I mean, they won the cup for a reason. They were the best team. They played well as a team. This team is younger,
Yeah.
and they're still learning how to play in the playoffs. That other team had lost 3 years in a row in the second round, so they had to learn it. This team had what most of the kids had 1 year last year, but guys like Chikrin, this is his first playoffs. But I like the way I thought Pierre-Luc Dubois was better tonight.
He was good.
Everybody was better tonight, and they had to be. So it's just if they can keep improving on this, finding ways to negate Carolina's speed, they can win the series. But it's going to be this one's probably going to go 6 or 7.
Yeah, we talked about that. We said that. Do you think did you like Protas being moved up in the first line or with the Stroman and Ovechkin? Do you like that?
Well, that had worked well in the regular season. They didn't do a whole lot tonight, right? He's a bigger guy, and I think I would have liked maybe to see him with PLD and Wilson, but they went back to something that had worked during the regular season. I will say, they did have that stretch from, the second period when they dominated the play. The line combinations were good, right?
Yeah.
So it wasn't until they gave up the power play goal that you didn't see much more of Ovi because they knew they had to have the speed out there. So I can go with Protas there. As long as Protas is on one of the top 2 lines, I'm fine, right? So I like when Beauvillier was there because he had some speed, but the line he was on tonight, he was getting chances, and there was balance up and down the lineup tonight. A lot of that was effort, but and there were some good strategic moves by the coaching staff to bring it out of the zone and through going through. Once they got out of the zone, the neutral zone was way better.
It was.
There were very few neutral zone turnovers. There were turnovers defensive zone, but once they got to the neutral zone, they were getting it through and deep.
Yes, once they got through, they were getting high quality shot attempts, high quality offensive opportunities to score goals. Like I agree with you. I just thought once they got out of it, they were definitely. They were such a better position to score goals compared to game 1.
Yeah, it was night and day. It really was. It's very encouraging. But playoff series, they go back and forth. Right?
Yeah.
So now it's Rod Brindamore's turn to figure out how he's going to adjust. The Capitals will go down there and will not have last change. So Rod Brindamore is going to get his matchups.
Yes.
So I think that's one of the reasons he had to win tonight. The Capitals had to win tonight.
Yeah.
And he had to change to try and get more balance up and down the lineup. So I would imagine he's going to stay with this. But if things don't work really well early, you may see Protas and Beauvillier switch. Or maybe Protas. I mean, you could see Beauvillier stay on the bottom 6 and they go with McMichael up there because if McMichael's skating well, so he's got a lot of options, right? He's got a lot of things he can do with these 12 guys. Having Protas back is really important from the injury, and he's still getting his legs back. But I think that we'll see what Brindamore does, and Carberry's going to have to adjust to that. But Carberry certainly made the adjustments he needed to do tonight.
We have a question. I see your question, Kyle. Kyle says, one question. What are your thoughts on Eller? I feel like he's really struggling with the puck.
Yeah, I mean, Lars has been 4th line center minutes all season, right? They traded for him middle of November to get him. He has the experience. He's a decent penalty killer, but he's on his last legs. So he's played a lot of games in this league. He had the winning goal in the Stanley Cup. He's been he's had a great career, but he's old, right? So he's struggling, and so he's not going to. And what he played maybe 8 or 9 minutes, if that, tonight. So the way Dowd's going right now, and
he's playing very well.
PLD, he's not going to play much. He's going to play minimal. You may see 8 minutes out of him in game 4. I mean, game 3 and 4 down there. He just the way the other 3 centers are playing, Carberry's got to roll with those guys.
Totally agree. Can you talk about Dowd? He's looked great. He looked great tonight, actually.
Dowd, Duhaime, that line was the best.
I mean, it was. Good.
I mean, every time they were out there, they were doing something, right?
Creating havoc. They were.
They really wore out Carolina. They got Carolina tired, and that's what they need to do. That line, when that line plays like that, it sets everything up for the rest of it. It's funny that what on paper they say is the fourth line, but it's
Fourth
really the
line,
third
yeah,
line.
yeah.
That line sets the game up for the Capitals. When down in that line, those guys are winning the battles and physical. The other team's having to exert more energy, and it really sets it up for the Capitals for the other guys to get the goals, and that's kind of what happened tonight.
Let's see. George had a comment. I kind of agree with. I like this comment, George. I said, Logan Thompson's performance reminds me of Lundqvist against us for the Rangers in 2012. Thompson can steal the series if Washington stops shooting itself in the foot. I agree. I think he's that dominant. He's been that
Yeah,
dominant. I agree. He's been that good. He's been like King. He's been like King Henry.
yep,
He has been that good. Like I do feel like if Washington doesn't set him up for failure, honestly, I won't even lie to you, Ed. I feel like if Washington doesn't like beat themselves in terms of for Logan Thompson, if they don't set
yeah.
him up, I don't think that Carolina can really score on him thoroughly. If that makes any sense, I don't
Yeah, if
believe that.
The Capitals don't give up odd man rushes
Yeah,
and,
I
and,
don't.
and are responsible with the puck, it's going to be hard for them to score, right?
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
Capitals didn't have any egregious turnovers like they did with the Alexiev one in game one. And
Yes.
I mean, the closest thing to a blown play was the 3-on-1 there late, and
Yep.
Trevor Van Riemsdyk, just
Saved
beautiful
it.
play, stick in the lane. That guy quietly just does his job night after night. So I was
Mm-hmm.
really happy with the way the blue line played. I thought Chikrin was way better.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was better, but I thought Chikrin
He
really
was
stood
better.
out in the back end
He,
tonight. He had a really good game.
yeah, he's better than he was in game one. I thought he was bad in game one. To be honest with you, everybody was bad, but I was not happy with his play in game one. Um, I'll add like I had a question. It was one. Yeah, I know. So that series where how can the Caps get away from those points in the game where they'll have Carolina in their zone for like a minute or like in this game they were in their zone for 2 minutes without before they even clear the puck. How can they
Yeah,
get
that
away
was
from that? Like that was wild. Like how can they get away from a situation like that? Because I felt obviously that again, great goaltending play to what George is referring to, but to clear the puck and not have that type of time in their zone.
yeah. I mean, they got caught in there, and then Carolina was able to get a change, I believe, and keep
Yeah.
the pressure on. So it's just you got to get that first pass. It's got to be good to get out of the zone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You make a mistake on that first pass, and now you're playing catch up. So again, it's somebody winning a battle, somebody chipping it out. Just do
Mm-hmm.
something. But the first pass, D to the forwards, got to be good. You don't want to just be relying on just slamming the puck off the boards out of there.
Yes.
We three icings in a row there. They survived around the 8 minute mark. So
Yeah.
it's just finding the way to get that, not make consecutive turnovers. It's back to back turnovers that wear you down, allow the other team to change, and that's when you get hemmed in.
All right. So going into game three, what can the Caps take from this game into game three for them to go up with a 2-1 lead?
Well, I think they learned that, I think through four periods, I was a little worried, right? Okay. It was
Yeah.
a little bit better in the first, but I'm like, can they really play with these guys? But,
Yeah.
I think the hit in the neutral zone that sprung McMichael for the breakaway kind of turned the momentum in the series to the
True.
Capitals.
True.
And they started getting some confidence, and they made some good plays coming out of their zone and through the neutral zone. They had a lot of quality chances. There were several times Capitals were alone
Yes.
with the goalie in front that they did not have in game one. So when
Mhm.
they look at the quality scoring chances, they have to take a lot of positives from this game. I think the key is going to be, you know, playing their system, not giving up odd man rushes, but they can't sit back. They got to get pressure. They got to get the puck in
Mhm.
Carolina's zone and hit them and make Carolina have to work to get it out to win the series. If they're going to let Carolina come out of the zone easily, that's when they're going to be in trouble. And, not sitting back is the key for this Capitals team. Playing their structure, five guys up and back down the ice. That's what they need to do if they want to win this series. They're going to win one of these games down in Carolina. I'd love to get two, but,
Yeah.
you got to come back out of there 2-2.
I agree. I agree. I feel like you mentioned I feel like I glossed over him a little bit, but John Carlson getting that goal, the power play goal, good over reliable, one of the best. defenseman ever to play for this team.
Yep.
Do you feel like he's going to be able to be more since what you saw in the power play? Now he got an opportunity at power play. Do you to actually score going down and getting that shot on the empty set the goalie switching over like you mentioned in terms of Ovechkin going down to the goalie and having Carlson on the wing. Do you feel like he'll have more of an opportunity to be more of a goal scorer going up? Going to game 3, going to game 4, game 5, going through to the series, do you feel like he'll be more of a goal scorer or an opportunity to be a goal scorer?
John is such a key on the power play. We talked about the Montreal series.
Yeah.
They moved him off the point. Now he started on the point, but John is very smart. John is, he's very savvy, really knows how to run the power play, right? He's the best one to get the puck to Ovi. He really reads situations well. He knows when he needs to drop down. He knows when he needs to hang back. He's such a key on the power play. And I think that's really important to get that power play goal tonight because they get opportunities. They got to take advantage of it, right? You got to score on some of these power plays. You can get one a game, you got a really good chance of winning the series. So Carlson's such a key offensively. I thought he was good defense. I thought all blue liners were good tonight. Alexiev was a lot better. He didn't play much, but Carlson was certainly very strong tonight, and he is going to be a major key on that power play. He knows how to move the puck. He knows when something's not open to take the shot. And tonight, he knew when to rotate down, and that was a huge goal.
Do you feel like that play will open, like now, Carolina will be more aware of it, and that play will open up things more for Ovi?
Yeah, I think it's going to open. Yeah, absolutely. I think what's going to open up, too, is the middle of the ice there, right?
Okay.
Wilson sliding into the middle there where Oshie used to sit, right?
Yeah,
Remember they used to try and hit Oshie in there back in the day?
Yes.
I think that now that defenseman's got to be looking behind him, and that gives a little bit of a lane there, right? You can't collapse that box as much if you're sliding and leaving that back door open. So that will certainly open some things up, whether it's a shot from the point or it's a pass into the middle that then Wilson can, or whoever's in the middle there, can score.
Well, Caps 3-1 victory, series tied 1-1. See, Ed, now we're back on our winning streak, Ed. We had the one loss. We was on a streak of no losses. Now we got one, but hey, we're back on our winning streak. So and we can go back to our positive post-game shows.
I tell you, it was a tough 48 hours, right? Like
it was.
What team's going to show up? Are they going to make the adjustments they need? And the first one was obviously taking Leonard out of the lineup. He's going to be a stud down the road. But
I like Leonard a lot too. I like him a lot. I do think that I get it though. Like you said, you're young and it's maybe a little bit too much. And the lights are bright. Nothing wrong. I think he's gonna have I think he's gonna be a stud. I think he's gonna be a problem in this league for a long time. So, but I'm with you.
He will definitely, if he stays healthy, he's going to be a really good player.
Yeah,
he's just 19 years old right now. Physically, the Stanley Cup playoffs are as physical as they come, and it's taking a toll on him. And it was smart to take him out and go with the guys who could bring some energy and some physicality.
Yeah, and it worked. It worked. It definitely worked. Hey, folks! Thank you all for pulling up to tuning in to the Caps post game show. Hopefully, we're not going to have a show for Game 3. It's a weekend, Mother's Day weekend. So, but hopefully, Caps win. Don't blame us. Don't blame. They're not going to lose. I'm not putting that in the air. But don't blame us if something bad happens because we're a good luck charm. So don't blame us. All right. But anyway, appreciate y'all for tuning in. Anyway, you've been listening to the Urban Sports Scene for ages. Yidig, deuces. We are out. Peace.
Peace.